Glenn Sullivan Sr. was sentenced to 50 years in prison and physical castration. So this is a crazy story. It popped up on my Facebook feed this morning. And first, let's get a look at Glenn here from Louisiana. This is not the best photo. It's a little bit blurry. But, yeah, he definitely looks like an old creeper. He was sentenced to 50 years in prison and physical castration. First of all, I did not even know that there were laws in the United States that allowed people to be castrated. That is insane. But let's look at what this guy did. In 2022, he repeatedly assaulted and molested a 14-year-old girl, and eventually she became pregnant. And I guess he had pretty much threatened her and her family not to say anything, but she eventually went ahead and notified the authorities that she had been assaulted repeatedly, and old Glenn was arrested, and they did DNA tests. They figured out that the baby was his, so they pretty much had a slam dunk case. The prosecutor from the county in Louisiana was a man named Brad Cascio. This guy, he actually pushed to have the criminal, the person Glenn, castrated. It was part of the plea agreement to make sure he was castrated sometime during his 50-year sentence. The law states that he has to be castrated no later than a week before his release date. So if for some reason he were to get his sentence commuted or make parole early, he has to be castrated before he gets released. And I think that is just a crazy law. I 100% totally agree with the law. I think that if somebody touches a child, somebody touches a little boy, somebody touches a little girl, they should be castrated. I know a lot of people think that pedophilia is a disease. I'm not an expert whether it's a disease, whether it's not a disease. I think that if you castrate these people, they're not going to be able to reoffend, or at least I would hope they're not going to be able to reoffend. But like I said, I was scrolling Facebook. I saw this story pop up. It kind of was shocking to me, so I looked into it a little bit more, decided I would share it. And then I found out that there are 9 states that actually allow for castration of these types of offenders. And these states are Florida, Iowa, Louisiana, Montana, Oregon, Texas, Wisconsin, Alabama, and California. Now, California being on the list was a big surprise to me because they are very big on criminal rights out there. They don't like, the death penalty. They're always protesting things like that. But not only does California allow for these people to be castrated, they were actually the first state in the United States to mandate chemical castration as a parole condition for repeat offenders if the victim was 13 years or younger. And not only for repeat offenders, but also in some cases for first-time offenders if the case was serious enough or if the person posed like a risk, future risks, which in my opinion, I think if you do it once, you will always pose a future risk. And castration seems to me like the only possible solution other than life in prison or, the death penalty. But that's a whole nother debate that a lot of people don't want to talk about. Now, if I could, be in charge of writing the laws, personally, I would mandate this at the federal level. I would make it in every single state. I think in Europe it's a lot more common than it is here in the United States. When guys like this get to prison, they generally have very big targets on their back. So they're separated from, the general population. They go to SO yards is what we call them, sex offender yards, and they are not allowed to interact with the general population because they would probably be stabbed. And that poses a liability for the state because then the state can turn around and be sued. But that is pretty much how it works in the prison systems here in Arizona. I don't know how Louisiana works. I imagine if this guy were to go to general population in Louisiana, he wouldn't make it too long. He got a 14-year-old girl pregnant, and that's just honestly disgusting. So, like I said, I just wanted to share this story because it's crazy that this guy's going to be castrated in prison, and I think that it should be happening a lot more. But aside from this story, I wanted to say today is Wednesday, April 24th. Last Wednesday, my YouTube channel hit 1,000 subscribers. And then as of today, we are now at 4,000 subscribers. So it took me 90 days to get my first 1,000 subs. And then a week later, I was at 4,000 subs, in part because we had a viral video and a lot of views. A lot of people subscribed from that video. So if you're one of those people, thank you. If you're one of the original subscribers, thank you. I appreciate everybody who has tuned into this content. Feel free to leave comments. Feel free to criticize. Feel free to hate. All it does is help the algorithm. And I appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.